Hi, in this video we will discuss how you can benefit from marketing modernization. So we will look at why actually B2B marketing fails in many ways and what are the hidden levers for growth and the vector model as a solution for that vector framework to unlock your growth engine. And so what kind of strategic moves you can do. And by the end of this presentation, I have a nice gift that gives you a jump start and give you immediately some action points and results that you do. So let's dive in. First, short introduction about myself that you know who are you listening to. My name is Erwin de Wert. I started business marketing in 1995 and I started my own business in 2009. Most customers are in the technology and professional services areas, and I worked for companies of all kinds of sizes, from small to large enterprises and small medium businesses in 22 different countries. So I like systemizing and work with technology, and I'm pretty much result focused, and that's important, what we will see later on in this presentation as well. So why most B2B marketing fails? Let's have a look at those things. Common issues faced by many B2B executives in marketing is, and that become more and more important also nowadays, is understanding your target market, understanding your ideal audience and ideal client profile. So not just the personas, but your ideal profile. That's essential to start with that, and it all starts on that point, but it is surprisingly that a lot of companies do not really have this so sharp. The next thing is then, if you know exactly who you are targeting to, who you want as a client, so what kind of coherent and strong messaging you can send in their direction. So messaging is another thing that's extremely important to be successful. And to do so, you need also to work with the right tools. And like I said, I like technology, but the integration of technology is a challenge in many ways. So symptoms of chaotic and disconnected marketing, you can see here. So first of all, you see a lot ad hoc marketing. And I say don't confuse activity with progress. What that means, many teams are very busy with things, but are you doing the right thing? So are you spending major time to major topics, or are you spending major time to minor topics? So that's something what need to be figured out. So the other thing is silos. Silos not only in marketing, but also in the organization between marketing and sales. So this disconnect is really killing your results. Then the third bottleneck, I would say, is lack of automation. You can automate a lot of things. If you don't do it, that means you have a lot of manual tasks, and that costs you a lot of valuable time and resources. And then data ignorance. It becomes more and more important nowadays to make your decision based on data, to look at the data, and actually data always tells you exactly what to do and what not to do. So it's your guide actually in marketing and in making decisions. And then there's a big one, leaking marketing and sales processes. If you look at processes from marketing and sales, you can find a lot of leaks most of the time. And by fixing these leaks, gives you a lot of better results. So I like to find these leaks, and that is really fun to do, and it is very much effective. So then a little bit related to that is lost potential. And what I mean by that is actually follow-up strategies. So many companies, they fail in a very structured and good follow-up process. They give up too early. So the gap between tools, ideas, and effective systems, it's an important one to focus. So if you have disconnect in marketing tools, and there are a lot of tools, so to connect them all, to make them work together, that's really a challenge that can cost you a lot of results, leads, and also conversions. The impact on marketing potential. So if you not have the tools and the systems in place, then it's a challenge really to build a good marketing machine. So you need this integration, and by integration I not only mean the systems, the technology, I mean the also the strategy, the plan. So you need a clear, systemized path. So what are the hidden layers for growth, right? So it's simple insights, but it changes a lot if you focus on these things. So the modern marketing principles focus really on the customer centric as a starting point. Like I said, if you know your client, if you know your potential client, the one that you really would like to have, then that is already a big win. So customer centricity is a big thing in marketing, but not always so simple to implement. And then the next thing is make decisions based on data. Like I said, it tells you already what goes good, what is going well, what is not going well. And then you can tailor the messaging to that. So if you know the client and you know their who they are, what their problems, challenges, gains, and pains are, then you can craft the right messages for them, and then you can also helps you with the data that you have about these contacts. So you need to align marketing and sales systems to your revenue goals. And that sounds obvious, but it is not. So a lot of marketing, it's not linked directly to revenue. Revenue is considered as sales, marketing is many times considered as marketing. But now it's like one continuum of the journey. So you need to already upfront understand, so what is the revenue goal and how much marketing and what kind of marketing I need to do to hit that goal. So it's not only a sales thing, it's also a marketing thing. So that's crucial for the right marketing strategy and come to the result. So to have this direct contribution to sales, you can in many ways you can calculate it. And by the way, we have also calculators for that. So if you're interested, that mean you can already think about what kind of deals, how many leads you need for a certain industry to come to your revenue goals and to support, let's say, the sales team with the right opportunities, the right number of opportunities. So really this alignment to the activities, to the revenue, it's a big thing, and it's part of also the marketing modernization strategy. So it's important to have clarity, and we receive this clarity by again looking into the insights that we receive from data. So you need to know what's going on. You need to know how people respond, how they not respond. Do they engage with your content or not? And what they like, what they don't like. So knowledge, it's a big win in this whole game. And that gives you also the opportunity to make the right decisions and to have this clarity. And only then you can make actionable steps. The reality, however, is many times the other way around. We do all kind of activities, and then we will see what is the, let's say, the result for that, and then we have some data. So it should be, let's say, first set the goal, then know what to do, and then only do the action steps. So the action steps come in the last step and not in the first. So that brings us to a framework that we use. It's the factor framework to actually change these things to, now yeah, I will go through the different elements of this factors work, then you will understand how this can solve the things that we just discussed and the bottlenecks that we see in the industry. So the factor framework, it's 6 topics like you see here, and the first one is vision alignment. That means set clear goals where you want to go. Sounds obvious, but very important to understand what is your stated objective. So what do you consider as success? What needs to happen? And this is the starting point. And then we start evaluating all your assets. That means we look at what kind of things you already do, what kind of campaigns you have for marketing, what kind of promotions or advertising or email or blogs or podcast or whatever you do, webinars, name it, all these things are different assets, and we can identify strengths and weaknesses by knowing what the assets are. So it's like, do you have a list of companies or not? And do you have followers on social media or not? All these kind of things are assets. And the next thing is then knowing the numbers. So we talk about data already a couple of times. Here it's important to know the numbers. So how many contacts do you have? What is your conversion on the website? How many people visit your website? So knowing the numbers, and then also identifying the key performance indicators that really measure and that really bring you to success. And that is an important one. So when we have these numbers, then the next step is to identify the target friction points. And that means to understand what thing is now important for you. So in other words, what is the diagnosis of the problem? It can be that you think, okay, let's do some more advertising, or we need more traffic on our website because then we will have more leads. But if you have these leaks, what I was talking about, then the problem is not that you need more traffic and to also invest in more traffic, but you need to close the leak. And if you close the leak, then you already increase your results. Maybe you do not even need to increase the traffic. So you need to find what is the target friction point. So what is the main friction point that is holding you back, that is bothering your success? And then you can choose one thing. So we will choose one thing at a time to solve. So to make an operational win, that's the next step. The operational win is that we implement one step at a time. What is the biggest breaker, so the biggest bottleneck at that moment? If we solve the biggest bottleneck for that moment, then we can go back to the stated objective, because then we solved this. Let's say that the problem was in a division alignment that we do not have enough leads. Okay, we solved this by removing the bottleneck. Then we can look at the next thing. So we can then choose the next bottleneck and solve the next bottleneck. And we do this one by one by one. So you need to review and repeat this process all the time. So that is the last step, to review and repeat. So that is the factor framework. It's very effective framework. It's easy to understand these steps, however, very effective to do it. So the benefits of using the factor system is that you increase your efficiency by doing only the things that makes the most impact. That's one. But also that you align it to the business goals. So we start with the stated objective. So we start with the vision alignment. That means it's in line with the business goals. Everything what we do is exactly a contribution to your mission and vision and your strategy. And many times it's not like that. So this model assures you that you have this in place. And then it's focused really on the revenue, because we look at the total journey and where can we now remove the biggest bottleneck in the complete journey to increase actually the velocity. Maybe you heard about a term, sales velocity. It's the speed of how revenue flows through the whole journey. And then that is what you increase with this model. So that gives you control over the process, because when you fix one thing, then you did this and that's in control, it's managed, then you can come to the next thing to control and manage that. So that's really a fun thing to do, and of course it's very effective. So this way you can make the transition from uncontrolled, chaotic, ad hoc activities to a planned framework what gives you the control to come to the results that you are looking for. So managing the marketing chaos, right? And I repeat this a couple of times because in many companies you see a lot of these activities and it looks pretty impressive normally how many things people do, in what they do, but it's not aligned. It's not aligned with the higher strategy, higher mission vision of the company, and therefore it's less effective. So we want these measurable results. Therefore, we need to bring everything in line. And this whole system, this whole approach, this whole framework is designed to do so. So, how does your growth engine blueprint look like? Let's look at the different steps, let's say step by step, the different elements. So, first of all, the vision alignment. That means we focus on setting the business outcomes. Important is that we align with the overall management, but also with sales. So, marketing and sales alignment is crucial for a successful cooperation on a commercial level, right? So, the factor framework also helps you with doing so. So the vision alignment is where it all starts. And like I said, it's a dynamic process. So you can come back to this to improve it. If you solve different things, then you can say, hey, we have now another business outcome that we wish for. Let's see how we can solve that. Then the next step is the evaluation of the assets. And I gave a couple of examples already. So it's a marketing audit to find all the things that are valuable for you. And it's interesting because we also look at, let's say, profit from the past, activities that worked well. And many times, maybe you recognize it, something worked really, really well. You ask, hey, there was a webinar last year or maybe 6 months ago, and this webinar, that was really a big success. We had so many people and etc. So then when I ask then, and when do you repeat this webinar? Then there is a silence, right? So that means people don't think about to repeat the thing that gave them the most success. So that's an important thing to consider. So things that work, just repeat it and not, forget about it. So that's how you can identify the strengths and weaknesses in your whole approach. And you can make then decision based on that. So when we have these assets, then we can also look at the metrics. And there, the metrics that are really focused on revenue driving numbers. So we are looking for the things that make the change. Like I give this example, what was your best month and what happened in this month? Was there something special? And then can we learn from that so that we can leverage these results? You can only do that if you know the numbers, if you see what works. If you do, as an example, email marketing, and you know what kind of messaging works for you and what messaging didn't work so well, then you can learn from that and you can then improve over time. And this is what you should do. So always look at the impact of the things that you do by the numbers. And from there, you can adjust your strategy. So like I said before, the numbers tell you actually what to do and what your next move will be. And then we come to the target friction points, because by looking at the numbers, looking at the whole setup, the whole system, the situation in your company, we find these friction points. And then we know, okay, we can then prioritize these friction points in importance and we can start working on those. So we look at, of course, what is the impact on lead generation? What are the obstacles actually that we should address? Because then it's time to implement the one-step solution, right? One step at a time by implementing these high leverage actions. So here the point is we do not just do an activity, because for doing the activity, we do a high leverage activity, what really moves the needle. And that's only possible when we address these friction points and that we also prioritize the friction points. So then we can come to the high leverage activities to solve those. And of course, we want then in continuous improvement. So then we come to the last step, what is a review and repeat. Then we look, hey, what was the impact for this activity that we did? Is it giving us the result that we were looking for? And then we can look to the next, we come to the next friction points and so on and so forth, right? And it is a culture of reviewing, repeating, improving, and especially by assessing all the time what you are doing and how this is related to your strategy, to your overall plan. So what's your strategic next move to actually unlock the momentum? Well, I invite you to book a walkthrough call with us. And through this call, you will receive an in-depth understanding how this whole methodology, this factor methodology, can work for your company. And actually, it's even better because during the call, we will do a, let's say, short assessment by asking you some questions. And we will already start working on finding some of these friction points so that you know immediately what it means and where to, let's say, focus on for an improvement. So that means these calls are immediately valuable. We will then tell you how you can modernize your marketing, what things are effective for you from the whole arsenal of marketing things that you can do. What are the things that are most important for you to implement, and you can then benefit from that already. So you can book this call by visiting this link, aimfirst.com/walkthrough. And on this page, you will find a button, or under this video, you will find this link probably, or a button where you can book this walkthrough. So the benefits for this walkthrough is like, it's practical because we look at your situation, your unique practical situation. So it's not a one fits all approach. It's a one-on-one consultation what you will receive. So you will receive tailored strategy in the call immediately. So, and we give you immediate, let's say, some things where you can already focus on. So that means it gives you actionable steps regardless of if we will collaborate or not. So that's then up to you if you like that we help you or not. But the call is already lots of fun, gives a lots of value because it helps you by improving your marketing strategy, finding some friction points, and also the methodology. You will be more aware and more familiar with the methodology of the factor framework. So I encourage you to book the walkthrough call, aimfirst.com/walkthrough. Maybe you ask yourself, okay, but how does that work? You know, the factor model at work. I have two cases for you. One is a software company, business case, company already exists over 30 years. And when we start working with them, you see the lines below was the revenue month by month for the year, the 2 years before the year that we started with this model. And you see it quickly, we hit every month, it was a record month in results of revenue. So the whole system delivered the 24% growth compared to the previous year, highest network growth rates ever, conversion 50-60%, and a return on investment of 4.8. So that was pretty neat and pretty fun to do. And they still have this model in place, and it's still, let's say, generating results 1 year after another. So the other one is actually Siemens Digital Industries and the partners of the Siemens Digital Industries. And here we implemented this all around the world. So this system was implemented, was a little bit challenging because it was implemented with their partners in all countries. And then you can think of, let's say, from India to the Americas, right? So, and everything in between. So many countries that didn't think that will work for them, but it did. So also very, let's say, effective by taking the principles of the factor framework, implementing this, and using the marketing modernization principles, give them a lot of results in the partner network worldwide. So I told you I have a gift for you to jumpstart your results so you can start today. It's practical and you can immediately use it. I told you we do this assessment. However, you can already have an idea yourself, a taste yourself by doing a self-assessment. So what I have for you is a modern marketing scan, what we developed, and that helps you already to get started with different areas so that you have a feeling where you can improve, where you should focus, and what is important for you. It's in a Google Sheet, what you can download at the link aimfirst.com/scan, and then copy it to yourself because you need to make a copy and download it to your own environment, and you can start use it how many times you want. And it gives you really a step forward already towards building a deeper connection with your ideal client, scaling personalization, and turning your marketing into a result growth engine instead of a cost center. So I encourage you to have a look at it. It's really nice, and it's cost only a couple of minutes to fill it in. So then we see that it is important to build this robust marketing system, and applying the insights that we've been through in this video that will enhance your strategies and really drive your business forward in a performance manner. So I would tell you, book the walkthrough. It's a free consultation, and I like to discuss with you about your situation and see what we can do to immediately help you already make the first steps in a performance jump. So don't hesitate, book this at aimfirst.com/walkthrough, or under the video or on the page you will find a button or a link where you can book it. And I'm looking forward to see you on the other end. Thank you.